Utah, I'm Jason Nguyen.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Emily Clark.
And I'm Jason Nguyen. Brian has the day off. It's 5 o'clock this morning on Labor Day. New this morning, a missing hiker has been found alive after 6 days in the Glen Canyon area. Officials say they found the man near Willow Creek Canyon. That's in the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. Police say the 72-year-old man told his friends he planned to hike to Lake Powell. When he didn't come back, his friend called police. Search and rescue teams say the 72-year-old man was dehydrated and sunburned, but otherwise he's okay. Now to a massive wildfire in Tooele County that keeps burning and growing. It's the West Government Creek fire about 10 miles southwest of Vernon. It has consumed 4,000 acres. Just 2 days ago, the fire was only at 150 acres. Several roads in the area have been closed. Highway 36 to Pony Express Road, Lookout Pass to Erickson Pass roads, all closed this morning. Plus, campers and hikers in the backcountry, they've been put on alert.
Right now we have...
So far, the town of Vernon has not been evacuated. Officials say the fire was caused by a lightning strike. The two teens went to Treasure Mountain Junior High School and were best friends. Police are asking parents to sit down with their children and talk about this new deadly synthetic opioid. The race for the White House is stopping in Salt Lake City. Republican presidential nominee Mike Pence will be in town this morning. The Indiana governor will attend the 2016 Utah Solutions Summit at Vivint Smart Home Arena. Now, good for Utah's Brian Carlson is live at the Viv with the story. Brian? Troopers say the Salt Lake City police officer was attempting to pull a person over for a traffic violation. Now, that officer was on his motorcycle trying to do that when he was hit by another car at the intersection of 1100 South Main Street. We're told by troopers the officer suffered a broken leg. Now, he was taken to the hospital and medics treated it as a serious injury, but we're told he's expected to be okay. It's 5:33. Hermine may not be a tropical storm anymore, but officials want residents on the eastern seaboard to remain cautious. Reed Benyon has the latest details.
We do begin with Good for Utah's Jason Nguyen, who is live where officials believe that fire started. And Jason, how many people are being affected by this fire?
Well, the last numbers that we got was that 39 people have checked in with the Utah Red Cross after fire officials said that arson fire began right here. You can still see some of the crime scene tape right here that the sheriff's office laid down. Now, Chief Bucky Whitehouse with the Tooele City Fire Department said this was a catastrophe. The Provo Fire Department believes that it was wind that caused this massive tree to fall right on top of a family of 6, injuring 2 little boys. Police believe the Salt Lake Valley was the final destination for over 23 pounds of meth and 6 pounds of heroin. UHP says that the most important thing that drivers can do is move over when they see an accident or anyone on the side of the road. No one has flown more than Chief Warrant Officer Ken Jones in an Apache helicopter in the world. Public health is key. Now, Joe's joining me right now to make sure I get this science experiment done right. Now, this is a purple indicator. We're going to add it to some of the water right over here. Now, when we add the purple indicator and we turn this little valve here, the water should turn blue. Now, when it turns blue, that shows how much calcium is actually in the water line. Hundreds of first-timers like these new skiers flock to area mountains here in Utah, all to break 2 records with the Guinness Book of World Records. It begins with the picture and ends in a world of difference. This is Dr. Scott Thompson's 15th international trip. Hello. This time, Dr. Thompson left his home in Davis County, traveling more than 8,000 miles to Vietnam.
Length of fossa triangularis. They're certainly more prevalent, congenital deformities in countries with large populations that maybe have a lot of poor people.
He comes to Hanoi, Vietnam to work at the National Ear, Neck, and Throat Hospital. Hundreds are already waiting.
I can see that the American doctor is very good and very nice.
To help you?
Yes, me and many people in Vietnam.
Dr. Thompson travels with his team, Ginger Matkin and Tyler Yates. They perform what is called a microtia surgery on children and young adults, reconstructing the entire ear.
They might just be born with the earlobe or just a little bit of cartilage, and so they're missing all of this other part of the ear. And so it's a surgery where we take cartilage from the chest and we fashion it and shape it and carve it and stitch it until it looks close to a real ear, and then we put it under the skin.
The three are working with the Help Us Give Smiles Foundation, or HUGS for short. The foundation is full of doctors, nurses, anesthesiologists, and aides who volunteer their time performing this difficult surgery. It can take 5 to 7 hours to complete just one. This week's goal is 50 cases.
I am amazed at these kids when they wake up, these are young kids, how brave they are and how stoic they are in dealing with their pain.
Stoic because this is probably one of the easiest things these children will go through in life.
Some of the countries that I visit, they really are ridiculed, and they have a lower social station because of these problems, and this just helps them to be able to achieve what they want in life, and also to avoid being teased or kind of treated unfairly by those around them.
Some of these children have been kicked out of homes. Their fathers and mothers let them to die because a defect was seen as a stain on the family. It's often the aunts, uncles, or grandparents who step in to help. They risk everything to see these doctors in hopes of a new life.
Feel a sense of responsibility that this is that important to them, and it makes me motivated to come and do it, because obviously it's something that they're willing to give up a lot for.
After surgery, you see something different, a smile. While these patients are only given 200 milligrams of Tylenol to ease the pain, the relief from bullying will be lifelong.
I think it's a lesson to us that many of these kids have very little, but they're still happy, and there's a lot of ways to find happiness just besides having, material things.
It can be hard to put into words what this team of medical professionals are doing. They're selecting countries not only to help children, but to teach doctors. Like in Vietnam, the local doctors are learning how to do these difficult surgeries. We're right here on Achilles Drive, not too far from Wasatch Boulevard. Right down the street over here is the bowling alley, where police say two men broke inside and began stealing items out of the bowling alley. Then, a couple of hours later, a man came home to find his car. This car right here being backed out of his driveway, and he wasn't going to let that happen.
I noticed somebody pulling my car out of my garage, which wasn't me driving, so I knew something was going on.
Jason Lukasek is quite fond of his BMW.
I was thinking that there's no way someone's going to take Greta and just get away with her. That's a special car to me. I love it. I've put a lot of work into it.
What Lukasek didn't know was the men he says was stealing his car was involved in a burglary at a bowling alley down the street, and police were on the hunt for them.
While they were doing so, they located a vehicle just south of the bowling alley, right here on Achilles, that appeared to have stolen property. As they checked further, they found stolen property that was kind of between the bowling alley and a little kind of a walkway.
That's when police heard Lukasek yelling.
Any kind of bodily harm really didn't occur to me. I wanted to stop whoever was doing it.
This is video of Robert Young being arrested. You'll only see this on Good for Utah. Police say his partner in crime was Robert Steele, who was arrested in the yard next to Lukasek's house.
It feels like a movie scene. It feels like I come home at the exact time they're taking the car out of the driveway. They had just hit the bowling alley. They left a trail of evidence. It still seems kind of surreal.
Now, police are happy that no one was injured in this case, but they say you should never take the law into your own hands, and if this happens to you, to call them right away. We did this story under the guidelines of anonymity, because getting off of heroin is no easy task according to those who have done it. Now, there are programs that can help people get off the drug, but fighting the addiction, well, that's going to take a community support.
I was what I would call soulless.
I hated drug court in the beginning. Did everything I could to still get high and lie my way through it.
I'm 29 years old now, and because of what's happening to her with you guys and what she's chosen to do with her life, at 29, I know who my mom is.
These are the stories of the addicted learning to live life sober.
At its worst, I was using heroin, and it got to the point where it was every day, constantly, basically throughout the day, for years straight, to where when I would try and stop, the withdrawals were so bad.
Most crime is based on people's addiction.
Well, that's like a social norm because of how just far deep down they are in it. To them, it doesn't matter they're going to do whatever it takes.
That includes theft, robbery, and forgery in many cases.
I didn't steal anything to use, you know, for myself. I stole things that I thought my dealer would like, or something that I could get a quick buck for, so that I could get well that day.
It's a frustrating thing for law enforcement to continually arrest the same person over and over and put them in jail, see them go through the system just to come out and reoffend.
So the drug court was put into place and defendants became clients.
If you can get them to think about themselves in a different way, if you can get them to think about their potential, if you can get them so that they're not craving physically the substance that they're addicted to, you get them into a frame of mind where they realize that the criminal behavior that they've engaged in the past does not need to define them.
Judge James Blanche runs the Alternative Substance Addiction Program, or ASAP. It deals with low-risk offenders that are highly addicted, slightly different than the traditional drug court, which deals with high-risk, high addictions.
I think that there was an unmet need for people who fit into that category and needed more in terms of treatment than regular probation could offer, but did not belong in drug court with the high-risk population that's in drug court.
Those that complete the screening for ASAP and drug court have the opportunity to have felonies and misdemeanors wiped off their records. Judge Blanche says the program is successful because it gives clients hope.
How many days clean do you have now?
I believe it's 32.
All right, congratulations.
While also giving tough love.
It really gives you hope and confidence that people can come out on the other side of their involvement in the criminal justice system with the ability to do something significant and important in the future.
When I really felt that I had their honest support and really felt like they believed in me, that's when I start really believing in myself.
Allowing Tracy Ricketts to kick a 16-year addiction to heroin.
I want to know what life is again. I want to, you know, because I didn't. I had no respect in myself either, you know. I mean, when I say this is a genuine smile, it's genuine for a change, you know, instead of the lies.
Now, officers say that 70% of these people, by the national average, will succeed, and 30% may have an issue again. You can say all dogs are going to heaven, but today they're saving lives aboard this helicopter. Dog teams from Montana to Alaska descended on the Wasatch Front to learn critical life-saving measures with the Wasatch Backcountry Rescue Dog School.
And we're all responding together. We know each other. We know what our standards are. Our dogs can work together.
Avalanches can happen in a split second.
You ready? Search!
The goal for WBR is to be at an avalanche site within 10 minutes, and they can do it with a dog as young as 6 months, like Frankie from Snowbird.
This could absolutely be game on in this canyon for him. We've seen it before, and we ask him to do all sorts of crazy scenarios.
Frankie may be young, but he's learning from some of the best. Buried in a makeshift avalanche, he watched as older dogs saved me time and time again.
There's things like broken glass and exhaust and gasoline and, you know, things that may contaminate the site. He'll go in with confidence, ready to work, ready for that positive outcome.
Hey, being buried alive is no fun whatsoever, but when you have people like this that can come save your life,